In the June 13, 2026 opener at MetLife Stadium, Brazil were held to a 1-1 draw by Morocco. Morocco took the lead in the 21st minute through Ismail Saibari. Vinícius Júnior answered 11 minutes later with a stunning angled strike. Alisson kept Brazil alive with key late stops.
Comes to the middle of the field, shot through traffic, Alisson knocks it down!
When the final whistle blew, the result felt like a warning sign.
Here in New Jersey, Brazil won, Morocco won.
Morocco's first half dominance is because there's always a space they can play the ball into, which is behind Vini. And Hakimi, how many times did Hakimi have free runs there? Because Brazil aren't blocking that space. Also, with the loss of the attacking right back, he's got nothing down the right flank at all. It was going to be Wesley was going to be providing the width down the right. They got nothing down the right flank. So, all right, I'll solve that problem. I'll send Rafinha back out to the right wing. So that's what he does. And then there's no Vini and Rafinha. They're miles apart. They can't combine anymore. They get better after the substitutions. In second half, they were better. And he's got Luis Enrique wide on the right and Cunha wide on the left. And they've at last they've got the pitch covered. And so Morocco can't play through them anymore in the way that they were doing first half.
Brazil's midfield is compact by design. The starting double pivot Casemiro and Bruno Guimaraes, with Lucas Paqueta also available for balance. But this pair faces a draw challenge. Casemiro, now 34, can still screen the backline, but he lacks the legs he once had. Bruno is dynamic going forward, but is not a pure destroyer. If Ancelotti lines them up flat in a rigid 4-2-3-1, a savvy opponent can overload them. High-pressing European sides are adept at flooding the midfield. History offers a cautionary tale. In the 2022 World Cup quarter-final against Croatia, Brazil's midfield was effectively crushed when Casemiro and the rise of Luka Modric's pressure control left the pivot overwhelmed.
And a wonderful opportunity and an equalizer for Croatia!
In this tournament, Brazil cannot afford to be swamped centrally. The pivot must have protection, either via a third midfielder dropping bracketing Casemiro Bruno or by shuttling wingers and midfielders helping out. Ancelotti's setup is flexible enough. His Real Madrid teams often float between 4-3-3 and 4-2-3-1, so tactical variations are mandatory. If he insists on a flat two-man wall against a press, Brazil will likely be overrun. Brazil must be willing to adjust, whether that means asking Bruno to carry more vertically, rotating in Fabinho or Paqueta as a spare pivot, or even changing shapes in game. Discipline in this area is non-negotiable. If the Casemiro-Bruno axis cracks under pressure, the backline will face relentless attack.
If Brazil are having to depend on Neymar at this point of his career with the physical limitations that he has, I'm not making it up, he didn't play and wasn't available to play because he has a calf injury, but they're depending on him to be the guy that saves this team, they have bigger issues. And when it comes to bigger issues, one of the things that we said were a strength for this team was the center back pairing. Two guys who started the Champions League final, Marquinhos and Gabriel. Look at the goal of Morocco. It's a straight ball in between the two center backs. That cannot happen. So if you don't have a whole lot of dynamic movement and explosion going on in the attack and your center backs are being split by a straight ball right through the middle of your two center backs, then you have bigger issues than whether Neymar is playing or not.
Neymar Júnior is included in the squad, but he is emphatically not the answer in Brazil's final blueprint. He's 34 and has spent 3 years largely in and out with injury. In fact, he hadn't even played for Brazil since tearing his ACL in October 2023, and he missed the Morocco game recovering from a recent calf strain. Ancelotti gambled on naming him in the 26-man roster despite this layoff. That gamble must not turn into dependence. Neymar should only appear as a late-game X-factor, a spark plug off the bench, not as a nominal starter required to unlock games. If Brazil end up needing Neymar to produce magic against top opposition, that's a failure of game plan, not just bad luck. Fortunately, Brazil have a younger option tailor-made to lead the line. Real Madrid's prodigy, Endrick, his pace, directness and hunger are exactly what Brazil need on the pitch from the outset. Endrick should start ahead of an overhyped, under-rested Neymar.
La vue, lui donne le ballon et Hendrick 1-0. Petit ballon pour Hendrick, la frappe d'Hendrick 1-0.
Brazil's path to lifting the trophy is clear in theory. Unlike the available talent within a coherent system, the players are there. Vinícius Júnior, Rafinha, Martinelli, Hendrick, the experienced defense around Marquinhos and Gabriel. So the challenge is framework. In short, the talent is not the question, the structure is. Ancelotti's success in Brazil changes hinge on creating a disciplined core and adaptable strategy. The draw with Morocco showed what happens when the structure wobbles. If Brazil tighten up their identity on the ball, show up that midfield with flexibility, and keep Neymar in reserve, they can ride their star power to the later rounds. But if this team reverts to the old habit of waiting for moment of genius, they'll fall short again. In this World Cup, Brazil can win, but only if the system holds together as tightly as their talent demands. If you enjoyed this analysis, be sure to subscribe for more World Cup coverage and football breakdowns.